Guys, welcome back to my channel, The Universal Seeds. At this point, we know and completely understand, we intend to know and completely understand that we can manifest absolutely anything, okay? Whether it be a person, place, thing, situation, whatever it is, it's all about mental diet. The law of attraction community has definitely evolved and grown in the way that manifestation is viewed, so that is really great, and I think it's getting easier for all of us. I intend it to, and you intend it to as well. A relationship that I feel sometimes people struggle with, and I know people in my own life that struggle with this, and we do coaching and stuff to help them get around this, and obviously they then see results, is a relationship between a partner that you separated from. It can seem really difficult, especially when you have kids with this person. And I'm sure we've all heard horror stories about baby mother, baby father dramas. Now, people constantly look at me and say to me, you're so lucky, your baby father does blah, 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 you're so lucky. Hey, luck has nothing, not a thing to do with it. I could tell you some stories about the relationship between me and my baby father, but I won't. Why? Because they're pointless. The past isn't even real. It's just a thought stream. On my journey of just like spirituality and growth, I had a really profound experience. You may hear me kind of go back to this as a reference point from time to time. But when I had this really profound experience, all the venom and anger and hate that I felt towards my baby father, I really just decided to let go of, because I just couldn't anymore. I just couldn't have that energy or have those thoughts in my mind. I just really needed to let go of them. It was just more difficult for me to carry them around. I came to that conclusion. And when I did, I had a truly transcendent, amazing spiritual experience that just blew me away. Okay, definitely top five moments ever in my whole life. And I've got 2 kids, so to be in my top 5 is like a big deal. So yeah, it was amazing. So I learned something through that experience, that amazing things really happen when we let go of anger and resentment and we forgive. Okay. Now, we also know that our self-concept is happening right here, right now. Who we used to be is just a result of our mental diet. It's nothing more than that. It's not fixed in stone. It's not set. It's just what you was thinking. Sometimes I do give you little astrological references and how I see astrology. That would be, in astrology, it would be considered our 6th house or our Mercurial or Virgo energy. It's what you do every single day. What you've been thinking, Mercury, every day, 6th house, is what has led you to this point now. Mental diet, okay? It's nothing more than that. So if we can change our own self-concept, we can change our concept about others, because oftentimes we assume these things about others, that they will act this way towards us. So it always starts from self-concept. So, I'm a lovely person, everybody loves me. But then sometimes we'll be like, I'm a lovely person, everybody loves me, but these type of people, they're a bit dodgy towards people like me, or whatever it is, okay? So that's the first thing that we kind of need to get rid of. Self-concept, everybody loves me. Every type of person in this world is absolutely loving and kind and respectful towards me and mine, okay? That's a self-concept that I personally use. And then after that, you have to let go of all resentments. Like anything that person, your ex or whatever has done in the past, let it go. You cannot expect them to have new behavior if you are assuming the same old shit about them. They have no choice but to play it out. And then people moan, they'll be like, oh, they've done this and that. You are the one that is doing it, okay? it can be so seductive sometimes to get wrapped up in those thoughts and to be angry and to be resentful and to play the victim. But I would much rather play the victor. And I feel like that relationship between me and the father of my children was something that I got a good grip on. Like that's been one of my first long-term successes in law of attraction. I got a good grip on that situation. It still has its ups and downs because sometimes I do, not I forget, but yeah, sometimes we all need a little reminder, or we all may contradict ourselves from time to time, but that's when you get back on it. Okay, what am I doing? Why am I thinking that? That's stupid. That's not giving me what I want. This is what I want to experience. And also, to the people around us as well, if we are the one creating the reality, which we are, and we are responsible for this whole thing, we kind of owe it to ourselves and we kind of owe it to them to make it as good as we possibly can. Okay, so don't keep playing the same old shit out or the same old thought patterns, because you know where that gets you. There's no point testing it out again. You know what happens. They say crazy is doing the same thing, expecting different results. So when I say hold your mental diet and keep using your mental diet, even though the 3D shows you this and that, that's not crazy, because you haven't done that, or you haven't done that for however long, maybe you've done it for 2 weeks and gave up. Next time, do it for 2 months, not even 2 months, just do it, just keep doing it. But if you keep putting out the same thought patterns about this person, negative ones, and then they come back and act negatively, you can't really be mad at them, even though we do like to. Now, as I'm gonna get more into this stuff, I think of how to get a good relationship, I think a really important point here is to make, lost my words. I think a really important point to make here is that sometimes we're angry, resentful, and trying hard to forgive, so we project it onto somebody else, but that's really how we feel about ourselves. Because when we often hear that, okay, law of attraction is real, law of assumption is real, all these universal laws are real, and you are the one that has created your reality. So everything that has been awful and horrible that has happened to you up to this point is actually your doing. It's like, what? This is my fault. Like I've had some terrible experiences, so I've created those horrible people. I've created those monsters in my life to treat me like that, and there's other people in this world that are doing worse things, and what? I'm the cause of all of that. Whoa, calm down. You're not. Okay, you are, but you're not. It's just not like that. So please go back and watch my video about why bad things happen to innocents, and that may help you with that concept a little bit. I would then advise to do some, I can't even say it, like honopopo, something like that. I think I'm pronouncing it right. But it's basically the affirmations, or it's like a prayer where you just keep repeating the same sort of thing to yourself, like I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, and all those kind of things. So it's a release, okay? It's an acceptance that we're not perfect, and we deserve to forgive ourselves for any wrongdoing that we think that we have done. Therefore, it's easier for us to forgive other people for any wrongdoing that we feel they've done, even though ultimately it was a reflection of what's going on in our mind. But like I say in that video, you get a script, you get a storyline, and you're not worried about acting it out, because think of a child. Children don't know certain things. They just have not experienced them. So if you said to a kid, oh, go touch that radiator, and they've never felt heat or been burnt, they'll go and touch it. It's fine. They're not going to worry like, oh no, I don't want to touch that radiator. But, it's fine. They don't have anything, any blockages around them. Okay, so that's who you really are. Your inner child, your soul is really your inner child, and that part of you is always perfect, always untouched, always pristine, and that part of you is okay to go and play this role and to have these experiences without any blame or guilt or whatever, because it knows it's just an experience. Like Halle Berry goes to play whoever she goes to play in her movies, at the end of that movie, she's not worried. She's not worried about playing an awful role, because she knows who she is. She's still Halle Berry, okay? So get that whole resentment, anger, forgiveness, because really when we feel like that about somebody, we are just saying that about ourselves. That is how we truly feel deep down about a part of ourselves or whatever, but we just need to project it onto somebody in order to keep surviving, in order to keep living and manifesting. Oftentimes as well, I come across a theme of unworthiness. So, you know, somebody may say, well, he doesn't deserve to be in my child's life because he's done X, Y, and Z, and he wasn't there when he should have. Again, it's the same sort of thing. We are all worthy. Everybody out here is somebody's child. Everybody out here has an inner child. These people that are you pushed out are not hollow fucking, projections, okay? They're all ultimately, the physical vessels are all ultimately projections in your mind, but ultimately we are all part of the same thing. Therefore, we are all one, okay? We're all exactly the same, but we have the illusion of separateness. So it's easy for me to understand it like that and see it like that. I understand that concept can be a little bit weird for some people, but like I said, I've had many spiritual experiences. I used to have all these strange dreams and experiences where I would wake up and I was literally different people and I'd live their life and I'd see through their eyes. So the concept of us not actually being as separate as we think we are is very easy for me to get, because it's something that I have actually kind of experienced. But honestly, your soul and the way you're set up is not how most people think they are. Your perspective, you being a woman, like me being a black woman and me even feeling this way and being very spiritual and seeing things the way I do, is not my soul. It's just a perspective I have currently. I may have another, you know, version or another, well, there's loads of versions because everyone's else pushed out, but I may be having another experience of life with the same soul mosaic, the same combination of energies in my soul, combinations of energy that it's kind of hard to put into words, but like the soul mosaic of like the different amounts and stuff of the energies and how they all mix together, where I'm a complete cunt and I don't think or feel any way that I do now. Maybe an absolute horrible person, ignorant and, you know, racist, and you just don't know, okay? You just don't know, but there's probably every combination of you in existence so that you can learn from that and have more experience. That's how we get empathy. Some people are very kind and compassionate and empathetic, yet they haven't had the life experience that really gives them that. That's kind of how we get there, because the soul's been growing and learning and forgiving, and you don't get the chance to have the beautiful gift of forgiveness unless you manifest situations where forgiveness needs to happen. So it's not just that, you know, you've done all these horrible things to yourself and you're the result and you're to blame or whatever. No, you're learning, you're growing, you're doing it for a purpose. Your soul knows best. So that's again about having trust and whatever. So yeah, that's my little thing on forgiveness. But the talk is ultimately about how to have a better relationship with your ex. So you really do need to forgive them the same way, you know, you have the right to learn and grow. And like I said, forgiveness is ultimately a gift. As crazy as it sounds, it is such a beautiful gift to be able to truly forgive somebody. And when we forgive, we actually do really forget. We're not holding on to anything in the past. We know it's an illusion, it's not real. There's really no point of coming from that place, because you're just de-energizing yourself in your now and making yourself kind of like weak. So yeah, I learned to forgive and let it go. There was periods of time where he'd be acting up and he'd be doing all this stuff and he'd be playing all these themes out. More and more, the more that I was like, all right, I'm not going to react, he started getting worse. His behaviour would get more toxic or more just annoying. And I just started keeping my mouth shut and just not reacting, just not saying anything. Whereas before, we could fight for days. But I just stopped reacting and I would just say these affirmations in my head. And I remember one time I just kept affirming, like, right, he's gonna buy my daughter a new mattress, because I wanted to get a new mattress, because, you know, whatever, I wanted to get this new bed. And I was like, he's gonna say, oh, I've got the bed. And I remember one day I did that for like 2 days, and he called me one day. He was like, oh, I'm going to get Tian's mattress tomorrow, yeah? And I was like, yeah. And I just really realised in that moment, this works. There's no point trying to bring in any old storylines or say anything negative about him. So it's really about letting that person have a new concept. As much as you're allowing yourself to create a new self-concept, your new self-concept is that you allow other people, you create new concepts about other people, and you don't react from the 3D. You don't play out the old storylines or scripts that you don't enjoy or that don't give you the results that you want to see. You only play out or affirm, or, you know, your mental diet, the things that you do want to see and the things that you do want to experience. But honestly, that forgiveness part is really important, because if we're not forgiving, if we're not letting go of the resentments, you just won't be able to give them a new concept. I feel like sometimes but yeah, if you're struggling with forgiveness and, you know, you haven't worked on your self-concept, you do create a bad guy in your life. This is the world we live in. We do create contrast. That is the whole, you know, that is part of the experience here. You hear me say it all the time, polarity, duality. These are themes here where things are opposite. So, you know, if you want to be the good one, or you see yourself as the good one, the good parent, you've got to create a opposition automatically. Okay, so that's the bad parent, you know? So start using affirmations where you're both good parents, you know, you're both balanced, you're both equally giving and taking to the children, to the relationship with your children, where you're both supportive and that sort of thing. So I use affirmations like, he's such a good role model for our children. I'm so happy that he has such a close and loving connection to his children. I even speak to people and it's like, yeah, like the kids mean the world to him. Like, I know this sort of thing. And yeah, you can just use those affirmations. So even if it doesn't feel like that, even if that's not what you've seen, please just don't react. Don't react. Give them the chance to be something different other than the role that you've given them. Give yourself a chance to be something different other than the role that you've been playing so far. And I promise you, it will work. It will. Okay, so just keep going with this. You know, everybody may feel differently about this, but I just think, like, I've seen this work so many times for people. So yeah, that's the first step. You've got to let go of painting somebody as the bad guy in your life. I spoke about this in another video that I'm going to put up on my old channel it's kind of an astrology video, but it comes back to the will to live. And basically it's like, we have to give ourselves something we don't have to give up. We're given something that gives us the will to live. This is when we get our first spark of existence, our I am. It's in our first house. This is what's showing you your will to live. So some people have like an Aries kind of energy where their will to live is to fight the bad guy, or their will to live is to fight. So people who have like an Aries rising may find that they're always kind of creating these kind of villainous types in their life, or these people that they have to fight against and that sort of thing. So, you know, if that is your will, then that's your will. But, you know, make it more kind of fun or easy, because I just feel as though sometimes people really get put off as though, you know, this person's against them or that person's against them. They're not. They could never be, because it is really all you. It's not possible for them to be against you. Like I said, they're not thoughtless or soulless projections that have no will or desire, but their will is your will, okay? And I don't know if I put the video up yet, but their will is your will. I'm going to stop saying because I feel like I'm going into too many topics. Their will is your will, but your will is whatever assumption you make about them. So me saying their will is your will, it's like, oh, well, why aren't we all living in peace and happiness? Because you've got assumptions about different types of people. So if I will that this person believes this about me, or they treat certain people from certain backgrounds this way, or this is how they are, or they're sexist, or that's my will. So they're going to act it out. They have no choice but to. So yeah, it's about really looking at ourselves and seeing like, what do we believe? What assumptions have we got going out there? It's not like, oh, I want my baby father to do this, I'm using law of attraction, but he's just a C word, you know? He's not. He's definitely not. He is whatever you will him to be. So thank you for watching. I hope this has, I really, really do, and I really intend for this video to help some people to get a grip on, you know, any kind of relationship between an ex or family members, or, you know, even with their kids, because your kids are the same. It's the same with relationships with anybody. You know, your children aren't difficult or willful. They don't have a will of, they have a will of their own, but their will is your will, okay? So if you have assumptions that they're going to misbehave and they're not listening and this and that, that is how they're going to be. I honestly, not to brag, I get so many compliments on my children. I get so many people telling me how lucky I am about my relationship with my baby father and stuff like that. Luck has nothing to do with it. It's just it was one of the first things that I noticed when it came to the law of attraction, and I started getting that kind of tight and getting that together and kind of, right, yes, sometimes my mental diet gets lazy, and then I definitely see the effects of my mental diet when it's lazy, but I definitely see the effects of my mental diet when it's on point, you know? So yeah, take care. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Bye.